Hi everyone, welcome back to another lecture. In this lecture, we are starting with a new topic that is the shifter haulage. This question is basically based out of your chapter 8 risk and the uncertainty. So let's get started without any further delay. Now, when I talk about the shifter's haulage, what is the shifter's haulage question is all about? Let's first of all read it. Now, what they're asking us, explain the principle behind the maximax maximum and the expected value criteria that are sometimes used to make decisions in uncertain situation. You need to understand this is a simple question they're asking us. Okay, the meaning behind them. Prepare a profit table showing all the six possible profit figures per period. Using your profitable table from part B above discuss which type of van shifters haulage should buy, taking into consideration the possible risk attitude of the managers. Okay, so let's get started with it. Okay. So the first thing I need to know is the uh, question, right? Then only I can start doing it. Shifter haulage is considering changing some of the vans it uses to transport crate for customers. The new vans, some in three size, small, medium, and large. SH is unsure about which type to buy. The capacity is 100 crates for the small van, 150 for the medium van, and 200 for the large van. Demand for crates varies and can be either 120 190 carats per period, with the probability of the higher demand figure being zero point 0.6. The sales price per carat is $10 and the variable cost is $4 per carat for all the van size, subject to the fact that if the capacity of the van is greater than the demand for crates in a period, then the variable cost will be lower by 10% to allow for the fact that the vents will be partly empty when transporting carrots. As such is considered that if the demand for crates exceed the capacity of the vents, then customer will have to turn away. As such estimate that in this case, goodwill of $100 would be charged against profit per period to allow for lost future sales regardless of the number of customers that are turned away. Depreciation charge will be $200 per period for the small, $300 for the medium, and $400 for the large one. Okay. SH has in the past been aggressive in its decision making, pressing ahead with rapid growth strategies. However, its managers have recently grown more cautious as the business has become more competitive. See, how can I do the first of all? Though I know I have to do part A, in which they are asking us the principle behind the maximax, maximum, and the expected value. So let's first of all do it. Then we will be looking forward. Now maximax. What is Maximax? Maximax is your decision making approach where your investor aims to achieve the highest possible return. It refers to the decision making approach. See how I have given a three headings. I will be creating three different headings. It's 5 marks. I can write 2 marks each and one for a shorter little bit, right? Decision making approach where an investor approach what they approach for maximum achieve the highest possible return. If you remember, under this scenario I told you they look after in the best case scenario what can be the highest return they can earn, highest possible return. Correct. This strategy involves identifying the option with the best potential outcome. is typically seen as risk taker, or you can, yes or no? Basically, this is what is it about my maximix. Now similarly I will be writing about my maximum and the expected value that I know. Now see how important it is to just not know the concept, the solution part, but the theoretical part as well, because in section C anything can come, so we should be ready for that. So now the next thing that they are asking is me maximum. Let's do it. Sometimes you do get the theory about writing the perfect value decision tree, anything, everything you should ideally know. Now what is it? uh, it refers to the decision making approach. Decision making approach um, among the worst case scenario. Investors following this method concentrate over what? On the minimum returns they might receive and choose the strategy that offers the highest among the minimum. Correct. And investors who adopt this typically seen as risk averse. They don't want it to take risk at all. Now last expected value they're asking me. So what is my expected value? Let's do it. Expected value means calculating the average return based upon the likelihood of different outcomes, right? It involves calculating the average return based on the likelihood of different outcomes, you can say. This is how basically you can attempt a typical question around writing the theory of your maximax maximum expected value. There was nothing you can relate with the question. It was a generic question. If you know the meaning, you can easily score your 5 marks. Out of 5, at least scoring 4 mark is not a big deal. Now, moving ahead, the next thing that they are asking me is prepare a profit table showing the 6 possible figures per period. Okay, let's start solving this as well. Now, you have three types of van: small van, medium van, and the large. Now, how can you do this question basically? It's quite simple to calculate. Okay. The first thing will be your capacity. Now, under this capacity, it's written 100 crates for small, 150 for medium, 200 for large. It's given to me in the above itself. Correct now. It's 100, 150 and my 200. They ask me prepare a profit table showing the all six possible outcomes. So what possible outcomes they are talking about? They are talking about that see, demand for crate can be either 120, okay, or my 190 per period with a probability of the higher demand figure being zero point 0.6. The sales price per carat is $10 and the variable cost of $4 per carat for all the when subject to the fact if the capacity of the when greater than demand for carats in a period then the variable cost will be vary. So you need to understand that here my different scenarios is arising from my small van itself. What will be my sales if the demand is 120? Correct. What will be my variable cost minus any other adjustment like your depreciation, goodwill? Then you will get the profit. So you need to calculate your profit. Okay. When demand is, you can say 120 carats. That is what is happening. And when my demand is 190 carat. See, it's given to you now in the first itself. Crates per period. See, either though you can create a working note for it. And if you don't want it to create the working note, you can do it directly as well. It's not like you can't do. So how you can do it? See, here itself you can create the working note. When demand is your 120 crates. Up if your demand is 120 crates, first of all take your sales value. How much will be your sales? 120 into per price of selling is how much given to you. See, it's written clearly. The sales price per carat is $10 and the variable cost for $4 per carat. Okay. However, for all the subject, for all the fact if the capacity of the van is the greater than demand for the carats in a period, then all the variable costs will be 10% lower by 10% to allow for the fact that the vents will be partly empty. It's already written that what will be happening with the van, right? But now next thing they are saying that SH is concerned if the demand for crate exceeds the capacity of the van that the customer will have to be turned away. Then see how it is given to you. Depreciation is given to you. My depreciation is basically given to me. Now whenever these type of things are given to you, we solve it very simply. Okay, how can I calculate it? First of all, we will be calculating the figure of your basically sales. Okay, then variable cost, then goodwill, then your adjustment like depreciation adjustment and all, and then we are good to go. Now let's do it. So first of all, sales. First of all, let's write before writing the figure. Variable cost. So you got your goodwill. Then there will be your less depreciation. You got your profit figure. You basically got your profit figure. So this is what your profit figures is. Now, moving ahead, how can you do it? First of all, now nothing to worry about. First of all, write your simple words. Sales you cannot calculate directly because under this you need to see it's given to you the probability. The demand for the carats can be either 120 or this with the probability of the higher demand being zero point 0.6. So what will be my probability for the lower demand? 0.4. Correct. My probability for the lower demand will be 0.4 only. Up, if you look after it, 100 is the capacity for the smaller one, the normal capacity that we have. Correct. So under this, the first thing that you will be calculating basically up 100 and 120. Two figures are given to you, right? So when you will be, if even if you do the probability part, like 120 into 0.6, this, so because you need to do calculate the probability, then only you will be writing. Up just imagine here 120 is the lesser or the 100 only. Because generally your capacity is 100 only. So can you manufacture 120 units? No. You need to understand that when you demand, you need to see that demand is secondary. You will be looking first of all on your capacity point of view. Capacity is 100. Even if demand is spelling, even if your demand is 120, you cannot cater it. Why? Capacity is not there. Simple. 10 into, sorry, 100 into 10. Your variable cost will be 100 into 4. Acha, why my variable cost is not reducing? See, my and the variable cost of $4 per carat for all the van size subject to the fact if the capacity of the van is greater than the demand. If capacity is greater than demand, in that particular situation only your variable cost will be reducing by 10%. Right now it will not be reducing. Now you will need to take care of full value only. Now, what is your goodwill? Okay. So your goodwill is basically, you can see if you read your first, second, third, fourth paragraph, it is written in the second line itself. There's such estimate that this case goodwill of 100 would be charged against for profit. So $100 will be my goodwill. Directly that is given to me. Right? I don't need to do anything else. Now I am given with a depreciation. What is my depreciation? You can see my depreciation charges $200 for the smaller ones. Now calculate your profit. Up, just think from this perspective. When your capacity is 100 only, so you whatever the demand you get on, either 120 or the 190, you will be having the same profit only. Got it? So this is the one thing. Now coming to the next thing, let's look after it. My next will be when my demand is obviously 120, but here my capacity is 150. So I can easily get a 120 demand, 120 into $10. Up here my variable cost will reduce. They told me if my capacity is more than demand, then my variable cost is going to be reduced. Correct? That's what they told me. So what will happen in this? It will be how many units you have, 120 into 4 into 90%. Why 4 into 90%? The reason is that my 10% will be reduced. It's clearly written in the question if you have read carefully. In the second paragraph itself, last line, that there will be 10% lower variable cost. You have done it. Simple, straightforward. Now, my goodwill. How much is my goodwill? Obviously, 100 is my goodwill is. I think, wait a second, good will not be charged here. Because good will be charged against the profit for future regardless number of the customers turned away. Okay. If if your capacity is less than your demand, in that particular situation only you will be charging the goodwill, otherwise no. If you have the enough capacity to cater them, then there will be nothing. So it will be zero. My depreciation for large medium van is 300. 468 I am getting the profit. You can see yourself. Correct. So this 468 we will be recording. Now, when my demand is 190. Let's calculate it. See, for my this thing, it's going to remain same. But if you want, because I am anyway gonna copy paste it, you can copy paste it as well, so that you remain okay. Why we haven't calculated here? You just need to see the capacity part. Now, up see in this situation, your capacity is 150 and demand is 190. So maximum how much you can serve? 150 into 10. Up now variable cost will be full, right? And goodwill will also be impaired. Your depreciation is 300. You got your problem. Because you need to understand now what is happening. Obviously, when you are serving less customer, the quality is always hampered. Right? When my quality is hampered, my all these things is happening, so that will be varying. Now, moving ahead. Okay. Coming to my large wins, what will happen in the situation of large? Okay. In the situation of the large win, the first thing you need to see is your demand is 120 or the just look at the depreciation different. It will be 400. Then so we can calculate. See, very what will be my this 120 into 10? Correct. That cannot be changed. My variable cost will be how much? My variable cost again will be 4 into 150 120 units I am serving into 90%. Why? Variable cost will be lesser whenever capacity is more than demand. Mention in the question. 400 is my depreciation and you got your profit. And there will be no goodwill impaired. Same thing here. You will be catering entire 190 into 10. Correct. What is your variable cost? Simple. 4 into 190 into 90%. The reason? Again 10% will be less. Correct. It's written now my variable cost will be 10% less or something else is also. Yeah, it's correct. Now, what it will be depreciation is 400 given to you. Goodwill will not be impaired. You got your profit. 816. Here 368. Here 816. And you are done with this question. See how simple it was. See, whatever they were saying, I was just following. And I got my answer very easily. Now, let's look at the part C theory that they're asking me. How can I do it? See, using a profit table from part B above, discuss which type of when assets should buy, taking into consideration the possible risk attitude of the managers. Okay. Hmm. Now, how can I do it? Which type of up you yourself choose, look after it. Which type of when they should choose. Looking at the profit part and all. If you look after it, it will be basically the decision based upon the attitude of your investors risk. If investor is is someone who love the risk, it is a maximax, then we will be going ahead with the larger one. Why? The profit is higher. Correct. If there is someone who wanted to go ahead with the, you can say, maximum approach. Under the maximum approach, you can see that higher returns you are getting under the medium one. Correct. So it's all about under which, and if it is an expected value, then though obviously. So this is just for 6 marks, and we will be whatever the above they were asking about in the similar manner. We will answer this question just based upon purely our findings. Okay, now let's start doing it. The decision on which type of van, when to purchase, largely depends on the investor's attitude toward risk. Okay, now if the investor is optimistic about future outcome, then what can happen? The maximum approach would favor purchasing the large one. Correct? As it is offering the higher potential profit. That is what will happen. Now, if there is someone who wanted to apply the maximum approach, okay, uh, for the risk averse investors, what they will figure would consider the worst case highest returns. This is what I have told you. Correct. And the maximum, or you can say medium, when it stands out. In that scenario, since its possible return is how much? You can write even this. Minimum is 468. Here, right above also you can write. What is the profit? Dollar. How much was in the large quantity, or $816? Correct. Now, here I need to put the full stop as well. No, that will be a 468. Correct. Additionally, you can note it down that it is noted that the business managers are becoming more risk averse. Correct. Suggesting that the maximum strategies might might better reflect their current mindset. In the similar situation, you remember in this it is given to us that the maximum demand will be the probability 0. 0.6, there will be maximum, then remaining will be 0. 0.4 for the lowest. You can discuss about the expected value as well, because the more better you write the answer, that will leave an impression on the exam. Correct. Now see, you can write it down that the expected value for each option, how much will be for your each option. I am writing it as a theory only. For your small van, how much will be for my small van? I need to look after the profit. Are both cases is 300 only. So plus 300 into 0.4. That will be 300 only yours. Ultimately, if you look after the probability and what you will be taking with the probability. You can directly write here 300. Then you have your medium win. For medium win, how much it will be? And then we have your our large winners. Now let's look after our profit figure. 468 500. Wait a second, it will be zero point 0.4. Lowest. Highest is 0 0.6. Below it's 368 into 0 0.4 plus your 816 into 0 0.6. Now you can just write down the equal to whatever will be your values. Let's quickly calculate them as well roughly. You don't need to open the calculator here, you can do 468 into 0 0.4, 500 into 0 0.6. Right, next will be 368 into 0 0.4, 816 into 0 0.6. So you can add those values. I can write these things. It will be my $487.2, $636.8. This is how basically you can do. Simple. Up if they take the expected value approach, what they will be looking after? They will still go ahead with the, obviously if you look after it, you need to see that under the expected value, it's all about again the uh, risk taking on how much risk your investor is willing to take. If they are willing to take more risk, go ahead with more, but under the expected value they can get it into consideration what is more perfect. So I can write it down that a simple paragraph, okay, a simple line that under expected value approach, what will happen under this? It is not a one off decision. Correct. Making average returns a useful guide. Now, what can be the next thing? If you look after the choice like basically depends, but I feel like the medium one is the most sensible, right? So you can write it down that ultimately the choice lies with the management. Okay. However, if you look after above whatever the calculation and the explanation we have shown, which one? Given the giving their increasing caution. Which one is better? The medium when appears to be the most sensible option. And I am done. See, this is how basically you can write a full-fledged 6 marks theory. You need to understand first question was generic, part A, but not my part B. Sorry, C. It was not a generic question. They are specifically asking you. what you can do in that particular scenario. So in this situation you are supposed to give a proper explanation. So that is what is moreover about this, you can say, basically question. I hope you have understood it. Thank you so much for watching.